David has been on the news for days following a shocking discovery that has left fans, families, and the music industry reeling. David Anthony Burke, better known to millions as the rising singer and viral sensation, D4VD is now at the center of a story that feels more like a tragic thriller than real life. On September 8, 2025, authorities in Hollywood were called to investigate a foul odor reported in a black Tesla parked in the Bird Streets neighborhood. When law enforcement arrived, they were met with a grim scene. The decomposed body of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas was discovered in the vehicle's front trunk. The car had been impounded prior to the discovery, and its registration led investigators directly to Burke. Celeste had been reported missing on April 5, 2024. For over a year, her family had been searching for answers, filing missing person reports, and pleading with local authorities to take action. The investigation had made little progress until the impounded Tesla incident revealed the tragic truth. Law enforcement officials immediately began a thorough investigation. Officers executed a search warrant at a residence in the Hollywood Hills where Burke had been staying. While details from that search have not been fully disclosed, sources indicate that detectives were looking for evidence that could help clarify the timeline of Celeste's disappearance and establish her last known movements. The Los Angeles Police Department confirmed that they are treating the case as a potential homicide. Forensic teams collected evidence from the Tesla, photographing the vehicle, documenting the condition of the interior, and carefully preserving anything that could help determine the circumstances surrounding Celeste's death. Investigators are also reviewing digital communications, social media interactions, and any records of Celeste's contacts in the months leading up to her disappearance. Authorities have stated that Burke is cooperating with the investigation, providing statements and access to relevant information. At this stage, no charges have been filed against him, and the investigation remains ongoing. Family members of Celeste Rivas have shared that they were concerned about her relationship with someone named David, though it remains unclear how closely this was connected to Burke. Friends and acquaintances describe Celeste as a bright, ambitious teenager with a love for music and social media, someone who had been quietly navigating her teenage years when her life was cut tragically short. Police are also working to establish a timeline of Celeste's movements between April 2024, when she was last seen alive, and September 2025, when her body was discovered. This involves analyzing travel records, cell phone data, and witness statements from friends, neighbors, and anyone who may have had contact with her during that period. Amidst the unfolding investigation, D4VD's 2022 single Romantic Homicide has resurfaced, drawing public attention due to its title and lyrics. The song, released on July 20, 2022 as part of his debut EP Petals to Thorns, quickly went viral, gaining millions of streams on platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and Spotify. It was celebrated for its emotional depth, melancholic melodies, and D4VD's signature storytelling style. The lyrics explore themes of heartbreak, unrequited love, and emotional turmoil. Lines from the song speak of love lost and the overwhelming pain that can accompany the end of a relationship. For fans revisiting the track after the news of Celeste Rivas' death, these words took on a chilling resonance. The title itself, Romantic Homicide, combined with its imagery of love intertwined with tragedy, led some listeners to draw direct parallels to the real-life events now under investigation. Social media users began dissecting the lyrics, highlighting verses that seemed to eerily mirror aspects of the case. The correlation between the song's narrative and the circumstances of Celeste's disappearance sparked intense debate online. Comment threads and videos flooded platforms, with some accusing D4VD of creating art that foreshadowed or even reflected actual events. The song became not just a piece of music, but a symbol in a growing public discourse about guilt, coincidence, and artistic expression. However, it is critical to understand the timeline. Romantic Homicide was written and released well over 2 years before the discovery of Celeste's body. D4VD has consistently stated in interviews that the lyrics are figurative, inspired by fictional experiences of love and loss, and not connected to any real-life crime. Music critics and industry insiders have emphasized that while the title and theme appear striking in retrospect, they are part of a long tradition in art and storytelling where dramatic language is used to convey emotional intensity. Forensic psychologists and music analysts note that coincidences between art and reality, while attention-grabbing, do not inherently suggest culpability. The song, like many others in D4VD's catalog, uses metaphorical and symbolic language. Lines that appear predictive are often the result of common themes in music: heartbreak, emotional extremes, and personal reflection. Despite these clarifications, romantic homicide has become inseparable from the public perception of the case. News outlets, social media platforms, and online commentators frequently reference the song when discussing D4VD and the investigation. The juxtaposition of art and real-life tragedy has intensified public scrutiny, with debates emerging about how much a work of art can or should be interpreted in the context of real-world events. As investigators continue their work, it is important to separate artistic expression from factual evidence. While romantic homicide has undeniably captured public attention, the song itself does not constitute proof of involvement in Celeste Rivas's disappearance or death. Yet for many observers, the song now carries a weight it never held when it was first released, a haunting echo in the midst of a real-life investigation.